Before starting any project, we will prepare as much as possible. This includes gathering reference materials, usable assets, helpful tools, and learning necessary knowledge or techniques. Although this course aims to create from scratch for learning purpose, there are still some useful links organized on the links document. Most of these resources are free, but if you can afford it, you might also look for some paid resources. Since we will be creating realistic human characters, reference materials related to human anatomy are essential. In addition to the previous mentioned 3D scan stored as a reference, the links document also contains resources that are very helpful for creating human bodies. Feel free to explore these additional resources. Due to copyright restrictions, I cannot directly display many reference images. However, a lot of searching and research is done before creating. For instance, what kind of character do you want to create? Are there any close-up photos available? What features or accessories does the character have? What are the materials and the composition of each part? In addition to images, videos are also excellent reference materials. Video can provide different angles and help us understand details that may not be visible in still images. For example, it is hard to tell just from the pictures how the accessories are sold, but a demonstration video is very helpful. After all, different fields have different expertise, and it is impossible for one person to know everything. We will collect and accumulate useful materials like ZBrush Alpha and brushes, substance-based materials, usable base models, and Blender add-on tools. This course will also demonstrate how to create the needed materials yourself, and you can find the materials used in this course in the resource folder. The quality of materials can significantly impact production quality and efficiency. Therefore, many people or companies are willing to invest in high-quality materials. However, purchasing ready-made materials also requires paying attention to usage restrictions, which is why many companies prefer to create their own materials and build their own database. Before starting the course, you should understand the tools you need. There are many tools used in the industry, and many overlap in their respective fields. Thus, knowing which tool is suitable for your specific production task is crucial. For example, Blender is a very comprehensive 3D software that can also handle high-poly sculpting and cloth simulation. However, in actual project production, if you can afford it, we would still prefer the ZBrush for high-poly sculpting and the Marvelous Designer for cloth simulation, because these tools are more specialized and better suited to the production workflow. Now, let's look at some of my preferred settings in the software. In Blender's preferences, there are many detailed settings, but only a few need a special adjustment. Personally, I adjust the vertex size to around 5 in the 3D viewport under the Theme tab. which makes editing model vertex clear. Under navigation, the orbit method is changed based on the situation. The default is turntable, but sometimes it switches to trackball, similar to ZBrush. Auto perspective is also toggled based on the task. When enabled, the camera perspective between orthographic and perspective views automatically changes. When disabled, no changes occur. This is often adjusted while grooming hair. Key map settings are entirely a matter of personal preference. I use a left mouse button and switch the spacebar between play and tools depending on the situation. In the System tab, I use CUDA and choose both CPU and GPU. Undo steps are set to 256, and when installing add-ons from the Blender extension website, ensure Allow Online Access is enabled. Save versions are usually set to 2 or 3 so that in case of unexpected issues, you can revert to previous version. Autosave should definitely be enabled. In File Path, you can set a custom path if you have your own material library. Regarding add-ons, Blender 4.2 and the later versions have introduced some changes. Some previously built-in add-ons now need to be installed from the Blender extensions website. To install, find the add-on page, click the Get Add-on button, and drag it directly from the web to Blender to complete the installation and activation. Alternatively, you can still install from your local hard drive if needed, just like before. That's it for my common Blender preferences. Next, let's look at ZBrush. The custom hotkeys and user interface are prepared in the ZB folder. Simply copy the relevant files from the ZB folder to the appropriate path to use my preferred settings. If you want, you can prepare your own settings as well. After installing the custom files, there are not many additional adjustments needed in ZBrush. I typically turn off the gradient background by setting the range on the document to 0. Additionally, I set the quick save rest duration to maximum and disable the screensaver to avoid distractions. In Marvelous Designer, I only adjust one preference. In View Controls, Direction, I set it to forward to maintain consistency with other software. In Substance Painter, ensure that GPU ray tracing is enabled under baking options, and that sparse virtual texture is using hardware support acceleration. This setting should be enabled by default, but if not, make sure to turn it on to benefit from hardware acceleration. Also, under shader parameters, increase the quality in common parameters, as these significantly affect the roughness appearance. In Marmoset Toolbar, I only modify the output path to my desired location. No other adjustments are necessary. With this, The preliminary preparation is mostly complete. Before we officially start creating our character, we need to understand the basics and practice some human anatomy sculpting.